did something a little stupid. We got another RC car. Alright, I know I'm getting a little carried away with this, but I promise I am not going to buy a bunch of parts for this thing. I'm not going to do a bunch of crazy stuff with this. I'm pretty much going to take it out of the box and use it. I do have a couple things I am going to do to it, but I don't know, crazy. Well, let me explain my reasoning. For some reason, places like A-Main Hobbies and Tower Hobbies, they have scratch and dent sales. And for some reason I keep looking at them, and then I found this on the scratch and dent. Check out how cool that is. This will probably be my thumbnail, so I'll probably already give it away when you see this, but look at that. This thing is so cool. So yeah, so they call scratch and dent sale. So it said initially it was like $320, $300, and honestly, looking at the specs of this thing, 30 miles an hour, brushed motor, nickel metal hydride battery, I don't think it was worth $300, $320. So I went online, I went to YouTube, looked at some reviews, looked at what people thought of it, and you know, it's a pretty cool truck, but I don't think it's worth $300. For $400, they have like the 4 or 6S version. It was like another $100. There's one that's like way faster and better. But did you hear that? Scratch and dent, like half off, like $150. So when you buy this, they also have recommended parts that you can add. So right here is a new motor and ESC. This is a brushless motor. I can run a 4S or a 3S LiPo battery, which I have. And this was on sale. And not only was it on sale, they had this like mega weekend. It was like, you use the code MEGA, so 25% off. So this truck with this ESC was still way under the original, even $300 if they want. So to me, I think that was an outstanding deal. Okay, so this said scratch and dent, right? I don't see the first mark in the box at all. Like, I don't see anything. Because this said box damage. Box would be damaged. So I don't know. I don't see anything. Oh, look at that. It's completely wrapped. This thing has not been out of the box at all. Look, it's still is not used. Wow. Alright. This is my first time doing any type of scratch and dent, so I really didn't know what to expect out of it, but I figured, hey, for half price, why not? Why not give it a shot? And so far, I'm liking it. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh man, look at this. All right, let's check out what's under the hood. So, unlike Traxxas that has a clipless body system, this uses clips. It is cool that they are tethered, but yeah, and you know what? This is my first Arrma. Just like everything was my first Traxxas. I haven't had any hobby grade experience past Tamiya, so I'm not loyal to any one particular brand. So let's see what's going on here. Alright, you can hear the rain's coming, so I'm going to go ahead and pause, but I'm going to go ahead and take this battery inside and get it charging. Alright, where did we leave off at? Oh, I hate being interrupted, and you know, there's nothing I can do. I can't go back and unbox this thing because, you know, you can't re-shrink wrap it, but do my best here for you. So here's what we're looking at on the inside. You have a very basic ESC and a 570 brushed motor. This is why I said for $320 I don't think it's worth the price, because for $399 they have a much better model that's brushed. I think it's the Infraction 2, version 2, something like that. Oh, look at this. There's mounts right here for a brace to stiffen that. Oh, wow. Sorry, getting distracted. So, yeah, with this, not a very good system. So for $320, I don't think it was worth that. Now, at the scratch and dent price at $150, hell yeah, I'll take this thing all day long, because you can upgrade this like I did. I have the Sidewinder SCT, ESC, and a motor. I'll open this up in a second here. That's going to make this thing go quick. Now, I'm not into this thing for speed. I'm not a speed demon. I'm not out here trying to run 90 miles an hour. So, you know, whatever speed I can get out of this thing, that's what it is. But I can tell you right now, this thing running like 20 miles an hour isn't going to be very exciting. I think even my Tamiya, the Hot Shot, runs slightly faster. And I'll go ahead and do a comparison. I'll take this with an 8-volt, 8.4 volt nickel metal hydride, and the Tamiya with a 7.2, and we'll see the speed difference between something that was built in the 80s versus something new, still using old brushed motor technology. But moving on, I mean, it looks fantastic. I mean, I like the fact it's got these little guards here to keep stuff from going in here. We got front and rear anti-sway bars. We got a front and rear independent suspension, which is pretty cool. This is all-wheel drive. Interesting, like knobby tire here for street use. I'm not sure if I like that. You know, they advertise this thing as being able to go off-road, like I'm not even sure what you call it, but if you look, there's barely any clearance on this thing, so I don't think I would off-road. I don't even know if I would take it around the backyard, because I'm pretty sure once this thing gets in grass, it's just going to be dragging. But pretty cool system. I'm going to have to look to see about that brace there. That might be cool to have. May strengthen this. Well, it actually feels pretty strong. I can flex it a little bit, but yeah, so maybe I'll look into see if there's a brace. But like I said, I'm not going to go crazy, buy a bunch of extra parts for this thing. I'm not going to have a bunch of spares, and I'm not going to do a whole lot of stuff. Now, there are a couple things I saw that on YouTube on some reviewers, and everybody repeated the same thing over and over again. So there are a couple things I am going to do to this. Number one, I do have some better street tires. I think this is going to be better for drifting and maybe some speed runs. So, plus they look way better. Way better than these. I don't even know what you would call that. Plus, I think they're a little wider. Well, so I got that, but what I have here, which I think is really important, is that there's a drive shaft brace. So a lot of people talk about this drive shaft. It's spring loaded, right? So it just pops out of here. So it's spring loaded, and to me what I think happens is that this thing's not really balanced, and there's a lot of flex and give because you have a spring in here. It creates a heavy spot. Drive shaft should be the same 100% all the way through, but what they did is, by making this thing easy to remove, I think they created a little problem for themselves with the flex. So, and it's kind of bad that even Arrma knows this and created a bearing kit. So the bearing goes on the drive shaft. This goes here, so that you basically have like a carrier bearing in the middle, a little support. And then, like I said, I'm not into this thing for crazy speed, but it does say it'll hit 30 miles an hour with an optional gear, which is really interesting because nowhere on the package or in the instructions it says what the gearing is. I did see a video from Arrma where they installed the high speed gear, and then they said it was a 19 tooth, so I did order a 19 tooth. I believe it's 15 tooth that's on here now. Like I said, I'm not going to try to go crazy, but I do want to try to get a little bit of speed out of here. So I will be upgrading this ESC and the motor, and I don't have any batteries that run on this type of connector, but I have a ton of Traxxas. So alright, this is going to piss off the Arrma guys, but I'm going to be putting a Traxxas battery connector on here, and I'm going to be using my existing Traxxas batteries because I already have enough of them. I have a Traxxas battery charger. I really don't want to get into too much more money with this hobby, you know. I don't see the point in buying I forget the name of this MC3 and whatever connector. I don't see buying a whole battery, one connector for one car, and that. So, but other than that, man, this is a pretty nice setup, man. So far, I'm liking this. I can't wait to drive it. All right, we got to open up the rest of the goodies here. Now, this did say something about possibly like a European charger or something like that. I don't know. So we shall see what that was all about. I'm not worried about, because number one, I travel a bit, so I do have EU adapters, and then number two, I already have a nickel metal hydride charger that has an octopus type connector that actually has the right connector on here, so not too worried about that. But here's the remote SLT3. Now, I did see, I mean, and I saw this on a lot of reviewers complain about this not having range. So I did purchase the Dumbo radio. If you guys watch any RC stuff, you know Kevin Tolbert. He highly recommends these radios, and I tell you what, I wish I would have found his channel before I bought the Hotshot, because I spent $90 freaking on a Futaba radio for the Hotshot. Didn't even come with any servos. You know, like this doesn't come with any servos either, but it does come with a gyro stabilized receiver, and it was $40. I mean, come on, you can't even go wrong with that. And then he also recommends like these servos, the EcoBoost, whatever, and even these things are fairly cheap. So I'm not gonna open this. What am I doing? So yeah, so I'm gonna actually give this thing a range test. I'm gonna see if it goes as far as I'm comfortable with. If it doesn't, I'll go ahead and put this radio in. If it works and I'm happy with it, I might just go ahead and return it. I got that on Amazon. But yeah, wow, look at that, EU connectors for the battery. But honestly, and maybe that's why they discounted this thing, but honestly, I mean, this thing's a joke anyhow, this charger. Probably take you a year and a half to charge with this thing. Output 700 milliamps, which is what, like 0.7 amps? Wow. Yeah, so that's junk anyhow, so maybe that's why this was discounted. I don't know. Let's check out what's in the bag here real quick. So, a couple of tools. Pretty cool. Go ahead and put that up. And then you got your manuals. Technical pack. Oh, okay, so this is all the parts in case you break something, which inevitably probably will. I don't care what brand it is. It's instructions for how to get the gearbox out. Alright, so let's check this out. Like I said, you know, so Tower Hobbies had their recommended. I don't know that much about KV ratings. I know the higher the KV, the faster the motor spins. I know that it gets to a point that you can go faster, even possibly with the lower KV motor. So I don't understand how all that goes, but they had 3 recommended setups. This was one of them. This was the cheapest of the setups, so I went this route. And then, like I said, amazingly, it was discounted or whatever because it was a combo, and then they had a sale over the weekend. So I went ahead and jumped on that. So couldn't go wrong with that, really. So there you go, little ESC. It's got a fan. Like the Clodbuster, there is like a card you can plug into here to program, but you should be able to do it from the remote as well. I'm not really sure what all I would change, but like this, here you go. It doesn't come with any type of battery connector on here, so you're free to use whatever you want. So I'm going to put the Traxxas connector on there, and I'm going to use my Traxxas batteries. Like I said, why not? Why invest more money when I already have, you know, to me, I figure it's already good batteries. The chargers are very convenient, very easy to use. So outstanding. So that's the ESC. Alright, so this, I know this is what everybody wants to see, man. The horsepower. What we got going on here. That would be the motor. Let's check that bad boy out. Wow, yeah, that's got some good weight to it. Man, that's a heavy wiring right there. So this is censored, whatever. I'm not 100% sure what all that means. But supposedly the receiver that comes with the thing isn't set up for censored motor. But they said the good thing is censored motors are rebuildable, so if you break this thing you can redo it. But what do we got? 3,800 kV. 100,000 RPM max. Holy crap. So this is all 3S capable. I do have 3S batteries, so that works out good. I do have 4S that I have for the X-Max, but one, I'm not trying to send this to the moon, and I'm not trying to burn anything up. So we will run it with 3S. We'll run it with the factory gear, and then we'll put the other gear on here, and then we'll see what she can do. But before I add all this, we're going to do a test and just see how fast it is out of the box. Which I know there's already been 100 people do this, but this is my channel, and I'm going to do my own. Alright, so let me know what you think. How cool looking is this thing? Yeah, so like I said, I just wanted something I could bash around in front of the house. Or not really bash, just something I could cruise around the house. The X-Max and the Sledge are just really big, and the Rustler, I think it's just more for off-road kicking. So this is a pretty good, it's still big. This is a good size. I think it's going to be bigger than the my Hot Shot. It should be, man. It's bigger than that box. But what a cool freaking color, man. Look at that color. So pretty cool. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and do a speed run. Once the battery charges, I'm going to go ahead and take this out front. We'll put the GPS on here. I'm going to do a speed run with it, see what it runs. Then we'll come back here and I'll throw in a brushed system. We'll go with the lithium batteries, and then we'll see how fast it runs then. Like I said, I'm not a speed demon. I'm not into these things. I mean, I'll tell you, I was running a Sledge earlier at like 45 miles an hour. It's scary. Oh my God. So if I can get the thing to go like 50, I think I'll be happy with that. I'm not trying to go like 90 or 80 or anything like that. So we'll see how fast we can go with what I got. I'm not going to try to achieve anything faster than that. And then also, I'm kind of curious, seeing how this is a brush system, 570 motor with an even higher 8.4 volt. We'll see what it does compared to my Tamiya on 7.2 volts. I know some people said this is a good starter model. I don't know. For $300, I don't know if it's a good starter. There's a whole lot of things that are way cheaper. That would probably be a better starter. But it is definitely an awesome platform. I said, scratch and dent. Do you see anything? It hasn't been out of the box. It was totally wrapped up. It's sealed. It said damaged box. There wasn't a mark on the box. So, you know, I took a chance. I wasn't quite sure what exactly I would get. But I am happy, man. This is a beautiful thing. I said, just out of the box with the brushed motor, it's probably going to run 20, 25 miles an hour. It's not very exciting. I'm not sure how much power it's going to have to slip and slide and drift. I'm not even sure how well it's going to drift on these tires, so I got the other ones. So when the battery gets charged, I'll meet you out front. We'll have some fun. I'm working on the edit, and you know what, this video is getting way too long. Most people really don't want to click on something that's going to be 30 to 40 minutes long, so I'm going to go ahead and break this down into 2 parts. This part, what you just seen, the unboxing, thoughts and that on the scratch and dent sale, and honestly, I couldn't be happier with it. Fantastic. I've never done this before, but there was no damage to the box or the car, so really great deal going on here. And then the next part, we're going to go ahead and do a speed run. We're going to compare it to the older Tamiya, see where it stands against an older brushed motor. And sorry, I do keep saying brushed instead of brushless. So we will be installing the new ESC with the brushless motor. We'll do a speed test. I'll put in the bigger pinion. We'll see how much speed we can get with the bigger pinion. And then I'll give you my final thoughts on this purchase. So hopefully you subscribe. Stand by for part 2. Thanks for watching. Check out the links down below. We got some good information for you, some discounts and all that other good stuff. So appreciate you watching and allowing me to share my fascination with this RC hobby with you. Hopefully we'll see you for part 2. Thanks for watching.